Ah, well, that could be a problem. You think? We just leveled half the city with your so-called harmless prank. I stared in horror. The city burned with the brightest of blazes. The smoke billowed towards the night sky like the smokestacks of a great factory or ocean liner. Theodore, or Ted as he liked to be called by friends, stood by my side. Our gazes watched the city, buildings crumpling like ash in the wind as the hungry flames consumed the wood buildings. The shadows as people ran from their homes, trying to escape with what little they had, would be etched into my memory for years. Then something broke the silence. Ted started to laugh. At first, little chuckles, then more and more manic. A wild laughter I did not think was possible from such a mild boy. For Ted was average, white, and unnoticeable in everyday life. However, in this moment, the wild look in his eyes and the echoing laughter made him the stuff of nightmares. Ah, well, that could be a problem, he said as he began to wipe tears from his eyes, still laughing. We just leveled half the city with your harmless prank, I said stone coldly, my gaze never leaving the horrific scene in front of us. Well, how was I supposed to know that the orb of light spell would light the timber on fire? I just wanted them to come step on it and try to put it out, he said quite proudly, crossing his arms and watching the blaze. I glanced over and looked at him. He seemed not to have any remorse for the scene that was unfolding. He leaned in, as if watching this seemed to bring him pleasure. The sadistic nature made me sick to my core. Ted, it almost looks like you're enjoying yourself. Show some compassion. We have burned half the city, I said, tears starting to run down my face. Meh, they'll just rebuild it. Those houses needed to be torn down anyway, he said with a shrug as he turned away and started to play with some stones on the ground. I wondered how one could be so callous and compliant with what we have done. Whether by accident or by choice, our actions have and would result in mass destructions. Ted had started to play with magic, creating little trails of lights and fire as he twirled his hands. I looked down at my own hands and clenched them into fists. We have to make this right. Our magic caused this. Our magic needs to fix it, I said, and I turned to look at him squarely. No, I'm not fixing anything. Not my problem, he said flatly. Ted, we have magic. They do not. We should have used to help, not play silly pranks. We shouldn't be here hiding while they suffer, I said, taking a few steps toward Ted. Well, some have power and some don't. It's not my fault they don't. And I intend to use my power for whatever I need it for, and not for them, Ted said, his gaze like ice. I was at a loss for words. I searched his face for some spark of compassion, some slither of kindness. I found none. He believed what he said, and I believed what I said. I turned on my heels and walked toward the blaze, my hands ready to help in whatever way I could. You can help them all you want. They aren't going to accept you, Ted called after me. I marched into the blaze and started to fight it. A water spell here, a wind spell to suffocate the fire there. Everything I could think of. However, my mind kept going back to Theodore. He showed no remorse, and after his words, he would cause more trouble. It would be my duty to stop that trouble. Theodore and I would become rivals that night. Him causing mayhem and mischief, then I calming it and helping those affected.